All right, well, welcome back to another episode of Self-Developed Life. I've got a very, very special guest. Her name is Marjorie Newman, who has just won a campaign here in the Alberta political sphere for the community that I grew up in Glenora. So I'm very honored to take the time and meet you here. I've heard great things from my mother, who's sitting over here, that put this meeting together. So I appreciate your networking as always, Mom. Shout out.
That's what I do.
Yeah, and you've got a fantastic story, and I just want to take some time to kind of introduce you to the viewers and give a basic overview of who you are, what you stand for, and the kind of vision that you have for Alberta and Canada.
Okay, so thank you very much for this opportunity. Again, my name is Marjorie Newman. I'm now the official candidate for the United Conservative Party here in Edmonton, Glenora, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the residents of Glenora for their support, for their overwhelming support. Thank you so much. This is the first time that I joined politics in Canada, and and people in Glenora, they're just very wonderful people, and I'm forever grateful. So just to give you a brief background about myself. So I am a wife, I am a mother, I have a 22-year-old daughter. She's in the university now. She'll be finishing her mechanical engineering degree this December. I'm a small business owner. I owned an immigration consulting business here in Edmonton, right here in Glenora. I moved to Canada 12 years ago with my daughter. I have several jobs. You know, when you're new in a country, you have to make it work with a few dollars that you have.
Well, let's just stop there, because that's one of the main stories that I was really impressed about, coming from the Philippines, and we have some similar connections there with the political situation there, and that you came here with basically not much.
Yes.
And those stories, I think, are so inspiring, and that's really what this podcast is about, is to share how people have overcome adversity to achieve and experience success, which you've been able to build for yourself. So maybe kind of walk people through that, coming here 12 years ago with literally, I don't know how much you came with, but my mom said it wasn't
that
too
much.
Yeah.
Not even $100.
Not even that's what
less than $100.
Less than $100. So can you imagine coming to a new country with a young daughter?
Yes.
With under $100? Like, that just blows my mind. It's so, inspirational how you had the mindset, but the actual ability to come here and now be an entrepreneur and be a political leader is just so, it's such a great story.
Oh, thank you.
So, feel free to share whatever you're...
So 12 years ago, March 2006, the day after my birthday, March 14, I arrived here in Canada. And then my mom has to reach out to someone from the Filipino community if they would allow me to live in their house for a month, so that my daughter was still in the Philippines. She would follow a month after, because I wanted to make sure that I have a place to stay, that I have a job, that, for her. So that's the plan. And so there's this beautiful family who used to work with my stepfather at Canada Post. So that's where I stayed for a month. I stayed with them, and then I catch the bus. So first job was at a law office right here in Glenora, the Laurier Law Office. I work as an administrative assistant. But I said, I can't save money with this one job. And I heard people, they have from my community, they have 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I said, maybe if they can do it, I can make it work. And so I work for Safeway. So I work at the law office from 8 to 5 and then catch the bus. And at the time, I have to catch 3 buses from my house just to the law office, just to work. And then catch another 3 buses. I don't know how the bus system works here in Edmonton, but it would take me 3 buses and then change, because you have a uniform at Safeway, and then work from 6 until closing. So that was the regular.
and I'm sure the climate was a little different
and
too.
The climate
coming
March.
from the Philippines, plus 30 to minus 30.
Yes.
Wow.
And then I remember then my daughter followed a month after, and then it's tough. Yeah. In a foreign country with no family, with no friends.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And then so after a month, I said I have to say goodbye to that couple, because I could not like I don't want to bother them anymore, especially with my daughters. So I found this apartment at Baywood.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't have anything. One piece of spoon, a piece of the fork, one piece of plate, one of everything, because there's just me. I didn't have any couch, no tables and chairs, no nothing. So I practically called myself, I'm the floor manager, carpet floor manager. I slept on the floor. And I don't know anyone, so how can I buy, like, this bed? Where do I go?
And this would have been before the internet.
It would have been, yeah, before this was before the internet, no messenger, no nothing.
Craigslist to buy.
No Craigslist, and I don't know about that. When I applied for work, I went to, I remember, Service Canada. That's when you obtain or you secure your social insurance number. And then I said, oh, they have this old computers, like they have newspapers. I said, yeah, and then that's where I sent through fax my resumes.
Wow.
Yes, at that time. And then those are the things that I did. And then and just do whatever, do the work. And then at Baywood, I would see oh, why would people, when they move, they just leave behind their couch and their chairs and tables. And then I would ask a neighbor, I'd look for Filipinos, living in Baywood. I said, I would really like to have that couch and the chair. Can you help me bring it into my apartment?
Oh, that's
yes.
so...
And then they would help me,
Yeah, community.
Community. So.
Well, that's just so. I just want to say this to round
it
of
was
applause.
tough.
Yeah,
aside from the weather,
yeah,
you have no friends, you have no family, you have no contact. So it's just me and daughter and the church and God. I said I won't miss it. Sundays, I said sorry, I have to work for Safeway, but said no, I gotta go to church first before I go to work. So he was my protector, you have, because after 3 months, I said I can't do this. I think I can't do this, but my daughter, we can do this, Mom.
That was your motivation.
No, yes, she was my motivation, because I said, I'm ready to leave, I'm ready to go back, but she said, no, Mom, because this is the best thing that you have done for me.
Well,
bringing me to Canada.
I kind of want to touch on your family background, because there's a history of political.
Exactly.
I don't know how much you want to share about that,
sure.
but just kind of give people your background and your family roots of the Philippines and your political ties there.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it started with my grandfather. My grandfather was elected as a deputy mayor for more than 30 years, and then my father was elected. He started a church as a church volunteer. Yeah, my father. And then he was elected as mayor for 10 years. 10 years only, because when he was seeking re-election for another term, in one of his campaign events, he was delivering his speech, 3 people hired gunmen, he was assassinated in front of the people. And even at the time, he knew that they were only after him. So my mom and his friends who were there when it happened told me that he even told the people that they were just after me. So you really have to.
They were coming. The gunmen were coming after you.
Yeah, the gunmen. Yeah,
wow.
just after me. So all of you. Yeah, no, after my father. So it was him telling the people, okay, well, he was on the microphone. He said, these people are just after me. Right. So you have to, cover yourself, down, and then, yeah. So, and then my mother, she was elected as mayor for 10 years.
Wow.
And then when she retired, so I also ran as councilor for 9 years and served as board member. They call it in the Philippines board member.
Yeah.
Equivalent to an MLA here for 3 years. And then when I left, my younger brother also was elected as councilor, and then he became as vice mayor, and now he's board member, just like MLA.
And for those of you who don't know, politics and the whole kind of government structure in the Philippines is huge.
Yes.
It's a big deal. And we have a mutual friend and contact that I met when I was in the Philippines on my last visit, Congressman Bingo, who's a family friend of yours. And it's funny how, the world is quite small in certain areas of this industry. it's a huge deal. Like these events are really, really big, and the whole community comes out, and it's a lot bigger, I would almost say, than in Canada. Like the support from the people in the community, that they get behind their leaders in a really big way. But first of all, I just want to offer my condolences and to your father. Like that's just tragic for anyone to go through.
Yeah.
But also for you to see that happen and for you to follow in his footsteps, knowing the risks and the whole dynamics is, that's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's about public service.
Right.
Yes, so it's about public service. So the whole family, I'm sure you have heard about politics in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But I can say with all honesty that we did not enrich ourselves. It was all public service.
Yeah.
And then I encourage you to visit my place, and then you can talk to the people there, because it's something it's a legacy that I am really and truly proud of what my parents did for the municipality. So we don't really want to call ourselves politician, but we would prefer to be called as public servants, because it's all public service. So my focus was on women and children. So up to now, I still send money. Like I have projects. I continued with my projects on supplemental feeding to children.
Good for you.
Yeah, and then the women, I have projects with women. At the time, I would go to different, we call it barangays.
Yeah,
Right?
barangays.
Barangays,
yeah. The communities.
The communities,
yeah.
I go to the barangays, and I'll bring doctors, gynecologists, because we don't have the healthcare that we enjoy here in Canada. Yeah, in the Philippines. So it's like bringing the medical or health services to the people.
Yeah.
So we conduct medical missions. Yeah, so I'll bring doctors, and then we'll ask. From the business community, they would provide the medicines. They would provide the prescriptions. Yes. Yeah, and then I miss that. We build, and I also go to private companies. Right. Even the last company that I worked with for 12 years, they're very supportive of my projects. So we would go to the barangays, to the rural areas, and build these public schools. Elementary schools, like daycare buildings.
That's
so
great. Grand roots.
No, yes. So
grassroots.
I miss that. That's if there's one. Those are the things that I miss in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So if I can duplicate that, maybe in a different level, like if I get elected, if like the people, I would be able to earn the trust, the confidence, and respect from the residents of Glenora. Maybe not building schools or something, but I'm a commissioner for oath. I could do that services for free.
Sure.
There's so many immigrants here in Glenora.
Yeah.
So I'm being a licensed immigration consultant.
Right.
I can provide them, like immigration assistance for free.
Yeah, that's
right?
amazing.
Yeah. And
really...
so if I can be involved in all the communities, in Glenora, you have so many community leagues. There's Prince Charles Community League, there's Inglewood, there's Glenora Community League, there's Sherbrooke. So if they would allow me to be part of their community leagues, for no position, just a volunteer.
Yeah,
Any events that they would have, I'll be there. Do you need setting up just for whatever.
Yeah.
If there's a movie in the park, if there's just like a barbecue or a picnic, okay, just give me a call and I'll be there.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Growing up in that community, I went to Westminster Junior High.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to Ross Shepherd High School.
Oh, yes.
So this is my home turf here, and I'm just so honored to have someone like you representing it. Going forward, where are you at currently in the whole process? I know that you just won a campaign this past week, so congratulations. And what's kind of the next steps for people to kind of get involved and learn more about you and your mission and what is happening for the community?
Okay, so in Alberta we have a very big fight coming. So that's it. We have to bring back the Alberta advantage. So at the time when I moved to Canada, there's so much work. Yeah, but yes, you won't have a hard time looking for work. But this past 3 years, I just noticed when I went door knocking in the Glenora, like certain areas have different issues. Like, for example, in my area, crime, right? Yes. If you go to the 146th Street, 149th Street, 156th Street, their concerns is the LRT expansion. So each area, but the common issue, there's several issues that I've encountered. Like, they talk about employment. They talk about the debt, Alberta debt, right? Yeah.
Which is crazy because we used to be one of the richest countries or provinces.
Yes,
just not that long ago. Like Alberta was like rich. It was the richest, right?
Yeah.
And now I don't know what the deficit is, but
yes. So we need to restart our economy. We need a government that is totally focused on economic growth and job creation. And as Jason Kenney said, if we were to come to office in spring of 2019, we would immediately bring in a session of the legislature to repeal the most damaging aspects that the NDP has created in the province. So Jason Kenney said it several times that the bill number 1, is the repeal of the carbon tax. Yes, and getting other tax rate down as quickly as we can. Beginning a program of eliminating unnecessary regulation. Because of these so many regulations, we are driving away investors in Alberta. And they're going to countries like the US when there's no regulations.
Well, that's one of the first things Trump just did, right? He just took out all the red tape and everything and just saying, hey, if you want to do business, let's make some deals.
Yes. So we have to remove all those regulations so that we can tell the whole world that we're back to business.
We're open for business.
We're open for business. Yes, exactly. So those are like some of the things that we have to address. And I have no reservation. I fully believe in the capacity of Jason Kenney as the leader that we need at this time to be able to bring back that Alberta advantage.
That's great. So, and you've been working with Jason Kenney, like kind of
that's how I met him. That's how I met him in the Filipino community, because I'm very active in the Filipino community. I organize events for him, and that's how I get to know him. Yes, and not on maybe I'm not sure if it's a personal level, but just like several interactions with him during the convention, and during his visits with our community, Filipino community events, you get to know like the person. So he's the right leader, the person, the leader that we need at this time.
Can I interrupt? I've just got to mention this, that your father used to tell his family.
Yes.
What did he tell his family?
Okay, my father was a man of integrity and with his Christian values, a man of principle. And I remember him telling me that I would rather die standing on my feet than begging on my knees.
Perfect.
Yes.
I would rather stand on my feet than begging on my feet.
And I would, and then that's the same, that's the same, characteristic that I would like to, bring with me if I get elected: integrity and an honesty and those Christian values.
Yeah, to death.
Yes.
If need be.
Yes, if need be.
Well, hopefully that won't be need be.
No, not in Canada.
No.
Canadians are very nice people, and then I have to say this, Alberta is my new home. My family is here now, and Alberta has been very nice to me. Alberta has been very nice to the community, and then there's no reason for me not to give back to Alberta.
Well, I would say something talking about your roots and your heritage and where you came from. A lot of the people may have never been to the Philippines or never visited. I've been there 3 times and have got property there, and I just think that the people there are just the happiest, the friendliest, and just the most servant leaders, like you said, that they will just bend over backwards for strangers, people they don't know. They have no financial incentive to help them. It's just in the community atmosphere that the first time I went there, and I've been to about almost 40 countries. I've traveled extensively, and the Philippines, the slogan is that it's more fun in the Philippines, but I would say it's more friendly. It's more like when you talk about integrity, people are just so genuine, and I use this analogy a lot, talking about different cultures and different countries, where you could be downtown Manhattan on Wall Street. A guy would be wearing a $5,000 suit in a $100,000 car, and he would not be smiling compared to the Filipinos that are living in little bungalow,
In
huts,
poverty.
bungalow huts with, a whole big family sharing everything, that are just kind of getting by selling coconuts or water or fishing. But the sense of community and family and just the whole life that they have, who's really winning? Like people talk about success being, rich and famous, but you look at Hollywood, all those people are on drugs and depressed and suicidal. You go to the Philippines, you just see people just smiling like smiles you've never seen before. It's just like this one here. So I just want to say that you're talking about the Canadian culture that has been done so much for you. I think the Filipinos around the world, because there are so many around the world that have gone abroad to work and support their families and send money back to programs and support their own communities. I really, really have a lot of respect and a lot of really great experiences with that community. So I just want to acknowledge you and your family heritage for that. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Well, I guess to kind of touch base with anything we want to touch on to wrap up. I don't want to take any more of your time. I know your phones are ringing like crazy out here, and I'm flying to Vancouver tomorrow. So we both got kind of a busy day, but I'm really, really honored to have the time here with you.
Thank you.
And how can people learn more about you?
Yes, okay. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you so much. And I hope and I wish and I pray that the people in Glenora, my neighbors, would give me a chance to serve them. Yeah. Yes, I would be able to earn their trust and their respect, to be able to be their representative for Glenora in the legislature. And if you need more information, you can go visit at www.marjorienewman.ca. Yes.
marjorienewman.ca, and I'll have a link below this this presentation and podcast. So yeah, definitely get involved. Do your research, figure out what's happening if you're from this area or not, if you're Canadian or Albertan or Edmontonian. Really get involved any way you can. Your support and vote does make a difference.
Because we need more. We need volunteers to door knock. We need and people in Glenora who would volunteer to have my sign on their lawn.
Oh,
so
right, yeah.
it's a lot of work. So I would really appreciate it if you would
And your boundaries
volunteer.
from 121?
From 121st Street to Yellowhead to
149.
Mayfield and 149th Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Stony Plain Road.
And Stony Plain Road. Yes,
Right.
that's correct.
Big area.
Yes, it's a big area.
Big area.
Yes.
Well, big area, we need a lot of people to help fill it up.
Yes, we need you.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All the best and congratulations
Thank
with all your
you.
success and continue.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, okay.